with all the different eras of Kiss, whether it's the Holy Trinity of the first 3 records, or the Love Gun era, or the Destroyer era, or the Elder era, or the non-makeup era, or the reunion era, what do you think the toughest era was for Kiss? We're going to talk about that today on a Labor Day early weekend live episode of Podcast Rock City Live. What's up, everybody? Joe here from Podcast Rock City, and with me this week, Sonny Hollywood Pooney.
What's up, people? See, I'm not being held hostage. See, I'm here. Ace is behind me. I'm okay.
Yeah. Think twice. Okay. Right down there is the very talented and handsome Joey Casada.
Welcome, everybody, to the number 1 rated Kiss podcast in all the universe.
I love the way you just did that. And right down there is the lovely, also very talented Lee, the Goddess of Thunder. Hi, Lee.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Yes. So, all right. So some of you guys are going, why are they doing a show? Well, there's a lot going on. It's Labor Day weekend. And in Atlanta, there's this thing called Dragon Con. So think Atlanta's version of Comic-Con. It's huge. It's massive. I've gone a few times. Lee goes every year, and we just, let's just knock this out and
like 100,000 people go through there.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. It's
literally.
like
are you guys both going?
I'm not going this year.
I'm going, of course.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you dressing like, Lee? What are you doing? Come on.
Well, tomorrow I'm doing Bobby from Pentagram.
Amazing.
I got the the microphone stand and the fan. And then I'm doing Large Marge Saturday and Vicky from Terrifier for the parade because my buddy does Art the Clown. So
please send us pictures.
If you, there'll be plenty of pictures. And if you guys have never been to it, it is massive. As a matter of fact,
crazy.
I went this one year, and Adam Savage from the Mythbusters was there. He's one of my heroes, and I went and watched this thing, and he was like, it was his first time ever coming to the Atlanta one, and he was like, I got to tell you, he goes, this thing is way more massive than you think Atlanta, and you think it's going to be, all right, but it's massive.
It's all
so
day
big.
and
It's
night.
like,
all day
it's
and
like
night
4
partying.
I was actually
Crazy.
on a panel with Ruby. That's how I met. And I
Ruby,
met him before I met you, Joey. We were on a panel for like the 40th anniversary or 30th anniversary of Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. He was, I think, all dressed up as Ace. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I see him posting pictures already. He's down there. I see him from the hotel.
He's there.
The hotel looks crazy, like mobbed.
It's 5 hotels and it's
Yeah.
packed. And I'm too old to be partying all night like I used to, but it's fun. I come home at night.
I
So
took
I
Jace one time, and this guy, he was walking in front of me, and this lady walked by, and all she had was pasties on.
Yeah.
And she walked by Jace. He was about 13. And then he didn't say anything. He didn't move his head, nothing, right? We got on an escalator, and I go, hey, you okay? And I just heard him go, not really.
Rumor has it Pooney might only be wearing these at the
you
Kiss
knew
Vegas
that was
event.
coming. You knew that was coming.
We're in
All
downtown Vegas. Me and Nicole are walking. She looks to one way, and there's a guy in Paul makeup with just a G-string on. And she's like, Oh my God. She turns her head, none with pasties. I'm like, yeah, baby. This is Vegas.
Wow.
Truly and totally amazing. Thank you guys that are here. Thank you very much for being here. Hey, let's go ahead and get to the news.
Podcast Rock City News.
So,
I agree with McMurphy's comment there.
Great shirt, Lee. Yes.
Oh, McMurphy.
no.
That too.
I want to rock and roll all night and part of every day.
Yeah. And thank you for the shirt compliment, of course.
Lee, do you stay down there at the hotel?
No, I go back and forth. I used to. I'm too old.
You're
can't
what,
handle-
like
I
30,
can't handle it.
you're only like 30 minutes away, right?
Yeah, I just drive in and out. The parking
Yeah.
sucks, but it's okay.
So, hey, listen, before we do anything else, Scam Batty there, he's got a new movie coming out. So if you don't know, go and check it out.
Listen,
what's
obviously, you know I hate this bum Scumbatty, whatever the hell his name is. But I will tell you, he does fantastic work. I mean, the stuff that he puts together, his movies, his edits, all the stuff, the fan films that he does, they really are the best out there. They capture all of the eras of Kiss. This new one from Tokyo to You is, if you watch the trailer, hey, more Freako, post the trailer so everyone can see it too.
Yeah,
The
Freako.
trailer is awesome. He's actually doing a screening in a theater. It's actually going to be right near my house. It's
Podcastle.
yeah, guys,
Amazing.
I live right there,
Yes.
Lee. You should come.
That's Kevin Smith's thing.
Yeah, I lived like 3 minutes from there.
Do you really? Because
Yep.
that's on my bucket list, is the quick stop and all that.
You should listen. That's a good weekend. Try to come up for that. We'll go see that movie. We'll hang out. We'll go.
It's in November.
I'll show you. I'll show you where.
I'm going to be in
all the-
Vegas
all-
right
all-
before that.
Yeah, it's right before that. Yeah. No, Vegas
I
is
want-
right after that, right?
Vegas is right after that.
I don't think
Oh,
I
really?
can
The
fly up.
weekend after?
I'd have to. A hotel's expensive and all that other stuff. But the screening is November the 8th.
November the 8th.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list too, to go to the Quick Stop and
Yes.
just sit out front and smoke a big blunt while I'm there. And
right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just
like
what they
the
did in
comic
the
book
movie.
store's not far. The Jay and Silent Bob the comic shop is great, and
Right.
I'll show you guys around. It'd be great.
Oh, that'd be
Oh
awesome.
man, that sounds like so much fun. I'll have to bring Jace though, because Jace is dying to meet you, and so
Aw.
Oh,
It'll be
You
fun.
guys,
God.
you guys should come hang out.
Great.
Poonie, you should stay. You stay home.
Jeez. Like, come on, dude. I'll be dying to meet fucking
It's prob-
Casada.
it's probably going to be more. If I did it, it would probably be more like around the Thanksgiving, Christmas time, and I want Jace to see New York at Christmas because it's beautiful. And,
Berserker.
yes.
My love is
My
like
life
a
is
truck.
like a ticking clock. Berserk. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about some news. This past weekend on our show, we had Dale Torborg on. And he basically called out Joey and said that Joey was scared. So Joey, what's
You have the
Listen,
clip?
I love
No, I didn't
Dale.
post it.
I'm the first time I met Dale. Funny story. So we're doing the Kiss tour with Kiss and Poison, Rock the Nation tour. We're backstage. I'm obviously a huge wrestling mark, and Dale is back there. And this is right after the heyday of WCW. This is 2004. So Dale is obviously a big deal. He was the Demon, and we immediately started messing with him. Like us three little midgets against Dale. We're chopping him. We're hitting him, and he's picking us up and literally just like throwing us around
Oh my
backstage.
awesome.
Dude. And it was one of the greatest nights ever. So ever since then, I love Dale. I mean, I beat him up a couple times. We hung out at the last Kiss show at the Garden. I was beating him up in the bar. He's no match for me. You know that. He knows that.
He's a
Um,
sweetheart.
he is.
He's a big
So
teddy bear.
I went online and looked, and more tickets have sold for Vegas. We're getting close. It still seems to be, from what I think I counted, like around 700. So it's down 300 or 400. I think as it starts to get closer, you'll start to get those, what do they call it? FOMO people. Maybe not a ton of them, but some that'll be like, I really want to go. Hoping that we're going to get more announcements. What do you guys think? Joey, well, let's start with Sonny. Sonny, what do you think?
The FOMO people better be close. because the flights will be outrageous the longer you wait. That's the
Oh,
problem. So if you're
yeah.
coming
Yeah.
from anywhere, better get your flights now.
Yeah. I got to get Pablo on the flight. I still haven't got my flight. So I may drive.
You better
No, I'm
get on it.
kidding.
You better get
I'll
on
leave
it, Joe.
tomorrow. I drive so slow. Lee, so I know that you're not going. The lineup so far, you think it could be a little better?
I don't know. It looks like a pretty good lineup. You know, all you'd want is Ace and Peter there, of course.
Right.
It's
Well,
not
who the
looking
hell
good,
is
though.
playing drums for Kiss? That's what.
Right. That's
that
We
the
still
question.
don't know.
That's
we still
the
don't
big
know.
question.
A drum machine. That's
No.
No way.
dude.
That's-
If it is, I'm not going to stop laughing.
If they
I
did
can't
that.
imagine. I can't imagine that it's going to be a drum machine.
I got to
When they could
imagine.
get-
Drum machine.
And listen, I don't know. I have no inside information. I got to imagine they're going to announce it relatively soon, sometime in September.
Someone's just going to
If-
show up back
If
there.
it's not Eric, I would bet it's going to be multiple people. I don't know if Kiss is doing is Gene, Paul, Tommy, and with Bruce kind of hanging out, and are they? Did they say they're like doing a full set? Do we know what they're doing, Joe?
Nope.
So we don't even know how many songs they're doing. If they're doing, let's just say 10 plus songs, I would bet that if it's not Eric Singer, it's going to be multiple drummers. I'd be surprised if it's just one guy, because then it almost has that perception of replacing Eric. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they would get a couple guys.
They're
we
in the
find
mecca
out
of
what-
musicians. They can get whoever they want.
Did we
Yeah.
find out what happened to Eric, or is he got something going on?
No, I can't imagine. I mean, it you would think that it's some kind of contractual thing. Like maybe he's busy, and it was something that he booked before they had that, and it's not something he can get out of. Now, do I know? No. I'm the same as you guys. I'm not sure yet.
I would think if they didn't announce what it is, meaning, oh, Eric's away, he's in Japan doing this, he's
Right.
doing this, he's recording. If they didn't announce exactly what the conflict is, I would think they're still trying to work it out.
Well, it could be they're not ready to announce because whatever it is that Eric is doing with X band, they haven't
you're right.
announced a tour yet.
Great point. Right. The thing that Eric has the conflict for maybe doesn't,
Isn't
they don't
announced
want
yet.
that announced yet. Right. That's
Yeah.
a great
Yeah.
point, Sonny.
All tours are just getting announced.
Yeah.
TSO just announced today.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll just wait it out and see. Joey, I don't have it queued up, but did you see the NECA
Oh, yes.
Kiss?
Look, I love
Figures?
them. They look so cool. I mean, listen, I don't buy anything anymore like that, but they look so cool.
They do.
What a great
They do.
idea. Yeah.
What a
fun
great idea.
It's
Yes.
just a different idea. It's something a little bit out of the ordinary. I love it.
Mhm.
Now I purchased, I haven't purchased yet, but I downloaded the new video game on my PS5.
Oh,
That's the it's a tank game. I think it's like heavy
Right.
metal tanks or something like that. And I haven't looked yet. I looked at the tanks and everything, and they look pretty cool. I even read that I believe Paul and Gene did some voiceover work for it. So I haven't had a chance to purchase that stuff yet, but I probably am going to do that, and then I'll be able to. I watched my son play it, and it's just basically roll around and shoot the shit out of everything with your tank, and I watched him, and he won. He blew up like 9 tanks. It was cool, and he was playing people online.
huh.
I love the comment Jason Cannon just did. I didn't even think of that. I think, God, would that be
Ooh.
great? As much as, Tishy's a great option. Brent Fitz is a great option. I'm a
Joey
big-
Casado.
But as much as all those people, me included, I think Anton would be the coolest. I think if they could get Anton to do the whole set with them, that has almost more drawing power than if Eric did the set. I
Mm.
think if they could get, because it's a once in a lifetime thing, right? If they could have Anton do a set with them, or even just five songs. That would be fun, different. Again, Anton was at the Kiss Cancer Goodbye show with us. He was phenomenal. He would love to do more things like this. You know, I was trying to help him. Like, Joe, you remember he was selling like his autographs and his merch and stuff. People were like, Anton, what the hell are you doing?
He was charging like $20.
$20. They're like, Anton, what's the matter with you? You're charging $20. You know how much you could be charging? He's like, whoa, you think I could charge more? I'm like, Anton, what's the matter with you? You're charging Sonny Pooty can get $20 for his autograph.
I actually get 50.
But, well, I mean, Poonie would be such. I mean, not Poonie, Jesus Christ. Anton Fig would
Poonie
be
on the brain.
Would be such a great get. It'd be such a fun, unique show. The Kiss ties are there. It would be great to see.
I'll tell you something that was a lot of fun was when Joey and I went up to talk to Anton, and we had just maybe a month earlier done that interview with him.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he goes, my sister called me. We're South Africa. I think
South Africa. Yeah.
South Africa, and goes, I just saw you on this podcast Rock City show. He was like, I couldn't believe it. It was so funny. I was like, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But so lots happening. We're just going to wait it out. Let's see what happens. I can tell you this. I was talking to somebody this weekend, and somebody very important in the Kiss world, by the way. And I told them,
wait, are
you going to tell us?
No, I'm going.
Joe.
I told them I'm going for the
house.
hang.
Wow.
I said, I'm going for the hang. That's the thing that we always talk about, right, Sonny? All these events, the Kiss is the soundtrack to the event. The hang and seeing your friends is really what it's all about. So, of course, I'm going to be very excited to see Paul and Gene and Bruce play together, maybe. And then even Tommy getting up there would be amazing. And then I love Warren DeMartini. I love his guitar playing. I'm excited. I know a lot of people are like, Rat, why Rat? I'm like, I'm a guitar player. I want to see if I can get close too, just to watch him play guitar. Spectacular. I consider it a win. I'll be there with Karen. I may or may not trick her and get her drunk like in the WWF, member, and I'll put her in the car and we'll drive up to one of those wedding chapels. Do you do it? I'll go, yo.
The Kiss Chapel. Kiss has one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe, that would be
perfect, Joe. Do it. Do it.
She's gonna make a comment here any second.
I am sure Poonie knows someone where he can get you some roofies, Joe.
Yes, I'm all about it.
Not a problem. You don't even need Joe doesn't need roofies. Joe needs a half a gummy. Joe needs nothing.
Not for me.
No, it's for you. First of all, it's for you, Joe. She wants to go to the chapel. We have to drug you. That's the difference.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Things: a gummy and a bag of Cheetos, and just kind of pull those away, and he'll just keep coming.
Yes, like on a fishing rod. The Cheetos, give him the gummy, and put the Cheetos on the fishing rod.
Almost got it.
And just lower him there.
Yeah,
almost got it. You know, I just what's Kevin's podcast? In Obscuria.
Yeah.
And they're about to have their like 300th episode, and I recorded a little bumper for them. And basically it says, hey, this is Joe from Podcast Rock City. You're listening to In Obscuria. Funny story. You may not know this, but Kevin saved my life one night from a bag of Cheetos. It's a totally true story. Totally true. And he thought it was great. Anyway, if you guys have never listened to that show, go and check that out. All right. So that was the news. Let's go ahead and Pedro, let's go to topic of the week.
Podcast Rock City topic of the week.
I'll tell you something that's a lot of fun. Joey had me go through all my magazines looking for something the other day, and I stopped on this one right here. Here's Circus Magazine.
Joe, that's the one I wanted, by the way.
This is the one?
Yeah, if you see the picture that I sent you, that's exactly the article that I needed.
This isn't the... Oh, was it?
Yes, that's the one I needed. That's the
Oh,
year-end review, right? Yep.
Yeah, but it's not the same year.
Yes,
You said-
1984.
No,
That's
this
not
is
84.
85.
That's 85.
No, but I think that's it anyway. I think that's the year-end review, I think, of 84.
Yeah, readers
Yeah.
poll. Anyway, so man, you guys, let me tell you, before we get to this, what was the toughest thing? I opened this magazine and it's in such great shape. First of all, let me show you. Look at the centerfold. Check that out. Look at Stephen Piercy and Rat.
Nice.
Then there was, let's see.
It's weird
Man, look
calling
at
that
this.
a centerfold. That's a little weird.
Yeah,
Not
it
a
is.
centerfold to you, huh?
Yeah, that's not a centerfold to me.
No, it's really not. But look at this right here.
Wow.
Motley.
Oh, is that Molly?
That was
I thought it
Vince.
was,
Yeah.
I thought it was Doro.
That very
Oh,
close.
that would have been a centerfold.
Yeah.
Nice.
Man, I mean, just like so great.
Yeah, and just so while we're on topic, Joe, for anyone out there, so I'm writing a new book. I'm doing some research. I need, if anyone out there has any of those Circus magazines,
Readers
Cream,
polls.
the Hit Parader, any of those reader polls where they have, the top 5 drummers of the year, the top 10 drummers of the year. I'm looking for any time Peter, Eric Carr, or Eric Singer were ever on those polls.
Yeah, this
would
one
love
I
to-
sent to
Yep.
you, right?
Yep. You said
Okay,
this.
and this one, the drum. So here, let me turn the light on here.
I would love to have, if anyone has anything out there, if you can send us an email. Where we send an email, Joe?
Podcast Rock City 1
That's the number
That's the
one.
number one.
at gmail.com. Podcast Rock City 1, the number 1 at you.
Please
All right,
send
so
me
look.
any shots. Show what I'm talking about, Joe.
Yeah, so it's like this right here, these polls.
Right.
All right.
It's the top 5 guitarists of the year. It's any
Yeah.
time Eric Singer, Eric Carr, or Peter Criss made those lists. I'd love to see pictures of those if you have it for my new book. Please send them to me.
Listen to this insanity, okay? Best new artist or group. Okay? Now, 85.
Yeah.
Right.
Best new
Of course.
artist or group. Number 5, Bon Jovi.
Yeah, of course.
Number 4, Wasp.
Oh.
Number 3, Motley Crue.
Awesome.
Number 2, Twisted Sister. Number 1, Rat.
Wow.
That's the readers poll.
That's for
Best
84.
Right.
85.
The magazine is 85. I think their poll is 84, right, Joe?
Like, were they really new?
Well,
Crew's been around a
would have
couple
been
years.
84.
Yeah, they've been around a
This
couple
is
years.
February. So here's another one. Best in concert group. So Kiss was number 5, the Scorps, then Priest, Motley, and then Van Halen. Paul Stanley didn't even make it into male vocalist in the top. Best songwriters. Gene and Paul were number 5. Best album producer. Paul and Gene are number 5. Best guitar player. Jakey Lee, Randy Rhoads. Eddie Van
Randy
Halen, of
Rhoads
course.
still then, yeah.
Yeah. Best bass, Gene is at 5.
Okay.
Best drummer, Eric Carr is number 4.
I remember Gene and Eric would always make those lists. I almost never saw Paul on the vocalists. Bruce might have made a couple later on in the later 80s, but I'm not sure.
And look at the single, the best single. Now, this is a reader's poll, obviously, but the best single, 5 was We're Not Gonna Take It. 4 is Rock You Like a Hurricane. 3 was Heaven's on Fire.
Yeah.
2 was Jump, and 1 was Round and Round.
Yeah, that's all 84 again. So
Yeah.
crazy. But again, you'll hear about my new book, but going through exactly what you were just reading, Joe, I'm up to around 1984 right now from what I'm doing. Kiss is back. I mean, obviously, Lick It Up. We'll get into the topic of the week, Joe, but Lick It Up obviously brings them back. But once Heaven is on Fire really staples them into that mainstream again, especially with MTV, Heaven's on Fire is really the thing that projects them. For the next 6-7 years. Lick It Up started it, but Heaven's on Fire is what really did it.
Now, so we can go into the topic of the week. let me tell you, what band do you think was number 1 for comeback of the year at that point?
Comeback.
Kiss. I'll say Kiss.
Kiss.
Yeah.
Oh,
Comeback of the year. Number 5 was the Scorpions, then Ronnie James Dio, then Yes, then the Van Halen, then Kiss.
Where
so
did
that
Van
brings us-
Halen and Scorpions go? Why did they have to come back?
I know.
They
it's
didn't go
weird.
anywhere.
I don't know. It's a they just are
Well, Van
writing in
Halen,
their
I
favorite
think
bands.
you got to remember Diver Down was right before that, right? So that was 2 years earlier. Diver Down wasn't considered a big hit. It was more of like a covers type record. I think that was almost like as a Van Halen. They thought of it back then as like the return of Van Halen almost.
But
Yeah.
Scorps is coming off a blackout.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Wait, what year is Blackout?
82.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
So what we're going to talk about this week is basically what was the toughest era for Kiss. You know, that one of the things that's interesting is when you think toughest era, there's all kinds of different ways you can define that. So we're gonna talk about what I'm going to ask each of you guys and gal, lady, what you guys think the toughest era for Kiss was. I'll say which one I think, and then we'll give the reasons. So how about we start with you, Lee? What do you think the toughest era for Kiss was?
Well, immediately came to mind right before they took the makeup off. You know, that Elder and the
Creatures.
Unmasked and the Creatures. It just seemed like a tough time for them.
So we'll
People
all
were
talk
falling
about
off. The fans
We'll
were
all-
falling off.
So, Sonny, do you agree that that's the toughest time? Or I don't want you to tell me. Okay, good. So we're Joey. What about you?
No.
Okay, good. So
Okay.
we're going to discuss each of them, but if we're in the same spot. So I'll tell you why I think that was a tough era for them. It's because they were trying so hard with Creatures to recapture what
Yeah.
they stopped doing. And the reason I think it was tough for them was because they put it out such a good record, and they were sitting back going, nobody cares anymore. What do you think, Sonny?
Am I telling what my toughest
No.
was? too?
Why? What was tough for them about Creatures era, Elder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, I call that the turmoil era, and I run it from 79 to 83. This is when, you never know how much you love money till you lose it, kind of thing. You got band members leaving, got members coming that you wish would leave already. Like, you got all this stuff happening. And that 5 years is rough, and that's turmoil to me. Yeah, it can be tough, but I didn't choose it as the toughest. I thought it was close, but I think there's another era that's tougher.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Joey?
listen. There's a couple of eras you could go with. I don't think any of them are wrong. The reason why I didn't go with this, which is I call this middle Kiss, that Dynasty through Creatures era. I don't think this was the toughest because a couple reasons. One, the income was still off the charts. They still had major record advances. They had all the merch still coming. They had tons of income still coming in, even though the record sales were flatlining a little bit with Unmasked and then Elder and then Creatures. I don't think money-wise, this was a very difficult period for them. I think, if anything, they were flying higher than ever money-wise. Coming off Dynasty was a big moneymaker. And I also think that they're not really chasing trends per se at this point. They're still, yes, are they changing? They tried a little disco. Then not necessarily they chased that trend. Then they went a little pop for Unmasked. They tried the concept, theatrical Elder. Then they went pure like metal type things for Creatures, where they're not really chasing. They're changing, but they're still very original in their sound. Unmasked doesn't sound like any other band out there. The Elder doesn't sound like anything. Creatures doesn't sound like anything out there. They're all very fresh. Did they succeed? Absolutely not. We know they didn't sell well, but I don't think that era was a struggling era as far as financials. Of course, they had to make big moves moving into Lick It Up. They took the makeup off. Yes, I do think that they had to make the moves that they made to survive, but I think there was an era later on that was harder for them.
Interesting. Sonny, what do you think is the toughest era for Kiss?
So when I was thinking through this, I came up with 6 eras in my head, right? And I think you ask people the eras, you'd get 15 different questions, 15 different ways. But to me, there's the beginning, and I kind of tap that at 73 to 75.
Yeah.
You got the biggest band in the world, which is basically 76 to 78. As I told you, 79 to 83 was Turmoil. That's how I kind of managed that. 84 to 95, I call that surviving probably. 96 to 01 is the comeback. And then from 02 on, you got the continued legacy, right? And I really, when I initially thought about it, I was with Lee. I'm like, all right, the Turmoil is the hardest. But then I actually landed where Joey is you're going through the turmoil, but you have resources to be able to go through the turmoil. You're just making decisions that you don't want to make, or you're not making the decisions that you should make. Right. But you could have replaced any member you wanted. You could have went and got anybody you wanted. Hell, Eddie's ready to do something with you. Like, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do because you got resources. So I actually landed on, I think the most challenging era is the beginning, because 2 or 3 things go different and Kiss is dead before it begins, right? We already know they're borrowing money from people that might be in the cement business. We already know they couldn't get home from fucking Winterland. We know all this kind of shit, that they don't have any money. If somebody doesn't come up with the Alive idea, they're dead. And how many bands do we know in our lifetimes never get past the first 2 or 3 records?
Yeah.
Right. And so to me, the most challenging era is the beginning, because even though everybody's scrappy and everybody's hungry, dude, it's hard to stay together when you ain't fucking making it and you're trying your hardest and you think you got something and it's not working like it's supposed to.
Yeah. Hey, Joey, this is kind of off topic, and I apologize ahead of time. I wanted to bring this up. So Jason and I went and saw the Fantastic Four movie. And this has a little bit of a Kiss tie to it. It's kind of strange. But did you see the thing? He went to the store, and what did he buy?
I don't remember.
He bought Black and Whites.
Oh, yes, of course.
You're right. He
half
bought
and half. We call them
half. That's right. Yeah. But they called them Black and Whites Paul Stanley called them that.
I always called them Black and White.
Black and White.
And I was like, we called them half and halves.
When I saw that, I was like, holy crap, that's pretty funny. That's shows how popular of a cookie that was. And he's like getting those to eat. Anyway, okay. Now that you all right, so you just heard what Sonny said before I rudely squirrel. That's where I went with that. And what do you think about what Sonny said?
Yeah, I think he's spot on. I really think Lee and Sonny knocked it out. I think the 3 to me, I settled on 3 eras, and I really was trying to go back and forth between the 3 that I thought was the answer to this question. Is there any correct answer? Of course not. I thought Sonny's era, which was the beginning, right? That's a big struggling era. That middle era, right, where they were finding their way and eventually had to take off the makeup, blah, blah, blah. That was a big struggling time for Kiss. And then the one I picked, which we'll get into, I thought those were the 3 eras that really were the pivot points for Kiss. They could have given up and phoned it in. And if they give up in Sonny's era, we get Kiss and Hotter Than Hell and Dress to Kill, and we never hear from Kiss again. If they give up on Lee's era, we never get Lick It Up all the way till today. Maybe they do a reunion eventually, but who knows? So yes, I think both of them are correct.
Yeah.
And I wasn't thinking about money, like particularly. I don't know why. I was just thinking about the band itself,
Yeah, Lee. So what do you think? Yeah, the beginning era, the first, like the very early part of the era.
Way to look at it. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, when it comes to that early era, I'm more sitting back and I'm going, it was exactly what Sonny said. It was tough for them because it was a struggle.
Sure.
Emotionally, they're still doing what they want to do. I remember Paul Stanley saying, What's it like? Somebody said, "What's it like to be rich and famous?" And he goes, "I can tell you what it's like to be famous." Because he would show up at concerts and there'd be people there to see him, but he had no idea what it was like to be rich yet.
But
And
nobody
so
knew who he was out on the street, though.
yeah, no, that's true. But here's the thing: you have to remember that era, that first 3 records happened in how many years? 2?
Yeah, year and a half.
Yeah, so it was short, and
Interesting what Lee said, just sparked a thought. One of the other things that happened with these bands, right? So we were talking about Bon Jovi earlier. We're talking Bon Jovi here, right? So John's out there, Richie's out there. They're writing music. They're putting stuff out. They start out in 84. So their 73, 74, 75 is 84, 85, 86.
Mhm.
Now, we know Slippery When Wet goes stupid, right? So that's kind of different. But the difference in 84 and 85 for, like, say, John and Richie versus Paul and Gene is when they're out and about, somebody will actually buy them a hamburger. Somebody will actually buy them a drink.
Good point.
Somebody will buy them a jacket. Somebody will nobody even knows who Paul and Gene is. So
Right.
they're not even getting that part of it.
Right.
And I don't care how much emotionally it makes you feel great to do what you're doing. Emotions don't buy a fucking hamburger. That's just all there is to it.
Bill a coin. Without Bill a coin, they don't get to the 3rd record.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Man,
not
he-
getting all the fame stuff at all.
he really believed in them. Like, but is it because he had no choice, you think? Is it, at this point, he's spent all his money, his credit cards are maxed out.
He just knew. He knew.
You think?
Yes.
I think it's both. I think he knew in the beginning, Joe. I think he took the chance, and then once you're X amount in debt, you might as well keep
Yeah,
going.
we
At
got
that point,
we
you're
gotta keep
vested.
going.
You would be amazed what you can do if you just believe in something.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed.
Yeah.
I still
Um,
believe.
Exactly. So you guys, before we continue, I want to tell you guys, if you look up there in the corner, there's a QR code that you can scan. You can still get Team Casada or Team Poonie t-shirts. A bunch have sold.
Who's
I don't have
winning?
the numbers. Oh,
I mean,
Sonny and Joey are tied with like 40 each.
Yeah, I got an updated list. I mean, last count, I was somewhere in like the 16,000 range,
Oh boy.
and Poonie was hovering around 11. And I don't mean 11,000. I mean 11.
So, excuse me.
Jeez.
So scan that, get yourself a t-shirt. And I did have Joey's book up there. It would you could buy Joey's new book. I'll put that back up as well. All right. So we got Sonny's. Joey, what's your era?
So again, I came up with, as soon as you asked this question, I came up with 3 eras. I came up with Sonny's era. I came up with that middle Kiss era that Lee brought up. But I really think the biggest struggling point in Kiss's career is those mid-90s. I think right after Revenge, Alive 3, the Convention tour, Carnival, all of that stuff. When the Kiss is starting to do the conventions, I know they're making a little bit of money on there, but they are absolutely desperate at this point. They are nowhere. They're not doing anything. Grunge is now the thing. All those bands, especially those 80s bands, are gone. Kiss is not nostalgia yet because they do the reunion a little later, right? They're still lumped in with those 80s bands. So they're gone. No one wants to hear from them. That whole time period, you see, hundreds of bands got crushed by that grunge movement. Hundreds of them. Very few made it out the other side. Van Halen made it out the other side because of the Sammy Hagar movement. I think if they still had Dave, which you could see Dave's solo career collapsed. If they still had Dave, Van Halen doesn't keep going. So Van Halen made it through, and Bon Jovi, I think, makes it through. Nobody else makes it through. I mean, I never considered Guns N' Roses part of that hair band movement. Guns
had
N'
that
Roses was
discussion
always
today.
a little
That's weird.
after that. I always thought Guns N' Roses was more right on the cusp of between grunge and hair metal. So they lived a little bit past that, but they never released anything past those Use Your Illusions albums really. But so Kiss was dead in the water. I think financially they're dead. If anyone's ever read the Kiss, Chris
Kiss
Lent
and
book,
Sell.
Kiss and Sell, Kiss is bankrupt at this point. They filed for bankruptcy. Their record contract is basically non-existent anymore, which if anyone knows anything about history, Kiss lives on their advances through the 80s. Without their advances for each record, and that's why you're getting records pumped out year after year after year in the 80s, because of the advances. Kiss has to live on advances, live on their tour from the new album. That's how Kiss is living in the 80s. Without those advances, and then obviously tours, after the record release, Kiss is dead. Once Revenge doesn't sell, and then Alive 3, which is a desperate attempt to kind of rekindle some of that old flame, doesn't sell either, Kiss is dead. Carnival is being worked on, but no, the record label doesn't care about it. Nobody cares about Kiss or any of those hair metal bands. So I think that era, right, Kiss does the reunion tour out of desperation. Trust me, Gene and Paul, they don't want to get back with Peter and Ace at that point, but they know without them and the makeup, they're pretty much over. I think Kiss flatlines at that point. They go their separate ways. Gene and Paul go their separate ways. Bruce and Eric probably do other things, of course. But I think Kiss is dead. Without the reunion, there's no Kiss today. So Kiss had to do that reunion, which, of course, projected them into maybe bigger than they ever were in 96.
Right.
I would argue that Kiss was bigger in 96 than they were in 76 and 77. That's how big the reunion tour was. But without that, those 2 years, Kiss is dead.
Absolutely. Lee, what do you think?
I don't know about dead, but I still think the era I chose was the worst for them.
Okay. Sonny?
Yeah, no, I get it. You look back at 93, 94, 95. Those have got to be tough years. Now, the issue is they made some decisions that put them there, right? So what helped them survive in the 80s through 92 also end up killing them, just like it killed Motley, just like it killed Dokken, just like it killed Rat. But Dokken was dead probably before I even got there. But so it was a tough time for music. Kiss luckily had the reunion tour they go back to. Motley can't do that. Rat can't do that.
None of those bands, yeah, none
of those bands can do that. Like they're stuck and they're dead. And Kiss has a way to come back.
Huge way to come back.
I will be honest with you. I was happy that there was all kinds of reunion tours happening in the mid to late 90s. Because I really do not like grunge at all. There's like 3 bands I like. It just brought the fun back, right? And I'm just like, can you please kill this music? Please, something kill this music.
Exactly.
And if you look at it, and Kiss began that movement, I think. 96, Kiss coming back starts that whole, it takes another 5-6 years, but after those, after the late 90s kind of fades and 2000 hits, then we're starting to get all the other 80s reunions starting to hit again and doing sheds and arenas, and it's starting to become bigger again.
Yeah,
Dan Batty's an idiot. The Eagles
the Eagles didn't have makeup to put back on.
The Eagles are not in this category. The Eagles are Zeppelin, Stones, Beatles, that level. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the 80s movement. The Eagles are not in the 80s movement. Goofy idiot. Yes, they are. You know what? Don't go watch his new movie. He's an idiot.
So Chuck McFarlane asked, did Kiss kill grunge music?
They helped bring some of the fun back.
Exactly.
They
Yeah,
didn't kill
I
it.
think oversaturation
The big
is the same thing that killed grunge. Once it wound up in Sears, when you went in and they had the grunge look on the dummies and the mannequins or whatever you call them, and
Sears.
and that
I
was
agree. I agree that oversaturation killed it, but why? So when you say oversaturation, why did the hair, if you want to call it
Same
the hair
thing.
metal movement, yeah, but why did that last almost
longer.
10
It
years?
was fun. It's fun.
Exactly
Yeah, the
right.
music was
Grunge-
great.
It was fun.
Grunge
Music-
couldn't last because it was
It's
miserable.
not fun.
It was miserable. You're promoting misery.
Depressing.
I go to music to get away from misery. And listening to
Absolutely.
Smashing Pumpkins is fucking painful.
And their shows weren't fun. Like, like they didn't have the bombastic stage.
And
I love.
how about
Smashing
this? I hate to say it. I'll say it. All their lead singers started dying.
They really did.
No,
they're
it's
all
true.
overdosing and killing themselves,
Sadly.
because
yeah.
they're all miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want to sell out, and then when they did sell out, they were depressed about it.
Well, you guys remember
He would say,
Paul,
"Send me your check, I'll take it."
Paul Stanley said, after your first album becomes a hit, what do you sing about? How miserable you are. You're rich now. All right. So for me, I think the toughest era for Kiss is going to be Unmasked through Creatures. I'm going to tell you why. Because I think that they released the solo albums and they still sell pretty well. Not as great as they had hoped, but I think they still sold pretty well. And then after that, I think they were sitting in their room and they said, you know what? We could do anything and these fans buy it. Watch. And then they put out Dynasty, which was a completely different sounding than anything. And what happened? It got bought and it had a hit on it. If you, depending on, would you consider I Was Made for Loving You a hit, Sonny?
100%.
100%. Okay.
Their
And they
biggest
went
hit,
with what
probably.
was going on at the time. Disco.
Yeah, it had a hit. It had a hit and it was big.
Paul literally just came out and said that that's Kiss's biggest song.
Biggest song.
Now, personally, Sure Knows
Uh-huh.
Something is better to me, but that's a personal taste.
So they do that, and then they go, "Oh, look, we could do it again." And then they release it, and no, the fuse
Not
was
so
lit,
much.
and somebody came in and said, "Snip." The bomb is not going off this time, and it
yeah,
crushed
on it.
their momentum.
But I think you hit it on the. We talked about it already, Joe. That it's the oversaturation. Kiss, 77, 78, 79, became oversaturated. The world was exhausted from the Kiss hysteria, and people started to revolt against it, just like they do to disco eventually, just like they do to hair metal eventually, just like they do to grunge eventually. That's just the nature of the world. If you oversaturate something too much, people start to rebel against it.
Yeah,
People also lose interest in what they don't understand at some point, right? So if a close friend of yours says, I got a secret I can't tell you, and you can't tell me, like, what's going on, right?
Why did you say that?
You'll hang on to it for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
3 days from now, you completely forget about it.
Yeah.
Until it comes up again, right? So the mystique at some point wears off. I'm not following this person anymore, trying to figure out who they look like, because I don't care anymore.
right. Yeah. So
People,
they
there's
do.
some
So they
people-
did the Unmasked record, and it didn't sell very well here. Overseas, it did pretty well, but here it didn't do well. Then they come back and they go, "All right, well, let's try this." And then they do The Elder, and it went right down through the toilet. And then they said, "All right, you don't like that one? Let's just rock again." And then they did that, and it was like they couldn't do anything that would bring their fans back. And that right there, to me, when you're at the highest of high and then you slip and then you slip again and then you do what everybody back here liked and you do that, but you slip again, that's got to be the most depressing. I mean, they got their popularity back unmasked and they were still going, "Are you sure you don't like Creatures of the Night? Let's release it again with a different cover with a booty on the back." And still,
But Joe, I don't think it had anything to do with, again, Paul always says Frog Boy and Goat Man, whatever it is. I don't think it has anything to do with the music. I don't think it has anything to do with the new personas. I think people were just tired of Kiss and the makeup. I think they just got tired of it. And I think Unmasked is phenomenal. I love that record. I love The Elder. Is it quirky and it hits a certain spot? Of course it is. Creatures is phenomenal. But I get it. I understand why. And honestly, that might be my favorite era of Kiss because it is so like mysterious and stuff. But it took Kiss taking the makeup off and becoming an MTV band to break them again. If they keep that makeup on, they could release Lick It Up. They could release Heaven's on Fire. The music has nothing to do with it. Paul said a million times, people started to listen with their eyes, and people were tired of it.
The best TV shows in history have only lasted X amount of time.
Yeah.
Right? You have anybody, I don't know if you guys watched Ozark. I loved it.
Yeah.
But every season got like worse and worse. Yellowstone, loved the first 3 seasons. The last 2 seasons, right? It just at some point you have to have a spinoff. That's why TV shows have spinoffs. Because the characters are working, but this dynamic is getting old. And you have to move
Joni
on.
loves Chachi.
I thought that was okay, honestly.
I
actually
think
like that show.
That's why Kiss is so great 50 years later, because they did change. Whether it was a success commercially or not. And I know Kiss only, Paul and Gene especially, they only judge things by if it was commercially successful. That is not how to live, everybody. You do not have to live your life, and don't listen to them. You don't have to live your life only judging things by financial success. That material they released in those years was spectacular. It was different from everything they did before and everything they did after, but it was spectacular. It was different for the times. They took chances. I respect them for what they did. I just wish in hindsight they could look back at it and say, you know what? The Elder was great. Because listen, if you read, I just read Julian Gill's book again, The Odyssey, and if you read back, Gene, Paul, and Bob Ezrin and Bill Aucoin thought The Elder was the greatest thing ever created in music history. They loved it. It wasn't until other people didn't like it that they hated it. That is not how you should judge your work. Please, trust me, I've done plenty of things that flop and lots of things that succeeded. Some of my flops I love better than the things that hit.
Well, it makes sense.
True.
So you guys out there, you can always let us know, and you do. That's the best part. Podcast Rock City 1, that's the number 1 at gmail.com. And you could let us know what era you think was their toughest era. And one other thing I want to make sure before we go, we're getting ready to go and do the after school special, and you have to be part of the club in order to do that. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, most of you are, look down right there. It says join. If you click that, it's 99 cents a month. 99 cents. And you get to join the club and come and hang out in a private show that we do once we're done here. I can see Jason's here. And John is here, and they're part of it as well. And, it's a lot of fun. We have a blast doing it. McMurphy's here. He's part of it. Let's see. And On the Fly is here. On the Fly. My bad.
Fly.
I forgot the
Get it
is
right,
silent.
will you?
Anyway,
Silent.
Yes, the is silent. Anyway, so click that, get in on it, and we also do giveaways. And next Sunday, not this Sunday, we're doing this show for this Sunday now. Next Sunday, we're going to get together and we're going to do another giveaway. And I have a couple of things. I will tell you guys that I do have some autographed stuff to give away, but I'm waiting until we get to 100 subscribers for that to the after school program. So we get to 100, we're at like 70 something now. So join and wait it out. And we have a lot of fun doing it. And we're getting ready to go there and do it now. So you still have time. Sonny, do you have anything to add for today?
Yeah, thanks for listening. And yeah, I agree with Joey. There's really probably not any wrong answers here because music's a struggle the whole way. Like I can't imagine having all the money and all the success as Destroyer, Love Gun, and Rock and Roll Over is happening, and cracks are starting to show with Ace and Peter. That couldn't have been easy either, right?
Yeah.
That creates turmoil, right? So, but yeah, I don't think there's probably a right answer. They're probably all levels of right.
Joey?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in to the #1 rated Kiss podcast in all of the universe. Everyone else is really just imitating us, Joe. You know that. There's a lot of haters out there, but please always come back to #1.
Lee?
Did you guys see that Evan and Nick added Sophie to their little
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I didn't see
Yeah,
the
that was
video
today.
yet.
did
That
the
was today.
chain by Fleetwood Mac? It was really good.
Oh, it's online right now, Lee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
it's
great.
real.
That,
Got Sophie in there.
Do you guys think that that's going to be added to the Kiss thing
The Kiss Kids.
in Vegas?
Why not? They should.
I think it'd be really cool if they did
Of
that.
course.
Yes. They're really good.
So you know what? I'll tell you what. I have this magazine out too. I was looking at this, the Heavy Metal
Look
Hall
at
of
Vince.
Fame, and this is from '86. This one's '86, and I'll tell you what. So basically, it's got like all these Hall of Fame bands, and Gene's toughest era was that one right there.
The Coffee Talk era. You look
Holy
like a Coffee
crap!
Talk lady.
I'm just saying.
He didn't know what to do with
We
himself.
got a
Joe-
minute.
The other thing I'm looking for, if anyone out there is listening, I am looking for a picture of Eric Singer playing with Lita Ford on his
Gotcha.
first run. When Eric Singer, basically, if anyone doesn't know, basically broke in. His first major gig was being Lita Ford's drummer. I think at 84-ish. I cannot find a goddamn picture.
I
Please, someone
googled
send
it.
me
I
one.
couldn't find one.
Nope, I can't either.
I think there was an older one, a newer one.
Yeah, I saw a newer one of Eric
That
and Lita,
wasn't
but
from
yeah,
back then.
I need something. I don't even know who. I want to see a band. There's got to be a band picture of them back then. A live picture. I can't find anything. Someone send me something.
All right. Podcast rockcity1@gmail.com. You can send it there or send it to Joey. All right. So you know what I'm going to say? We love Kiss.
Heels.
And we love Kiss podcasts, most of them. And you're going to hear the commercials for all the ones that we love right after this in 3, 2, 1. Peace.
Peace.